No? Hi. What's happening? What's happening in VizHub? Did you take my extension thing? Where is my? Did you
Testing.
take my extension thing by any chance?
Testing 1, 2.
Are you good?
Nice. No, I didn't take anything.
Coming, Dunga. I told the lady she can come.
And I'm live streaming. Whatever you say is broadcast on YouTube.
You can mute it unless somebody shows
I
up.
can't. Okay, we're live. So I'm just chilling. Okay, we're live. So I'm just chilling. Okay, we're live. So I'm just chilling. Come hang out in Discord. Yo, EJ.
Up? How y'all doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing all right. Happy Saturday. It's pretty beautiful out.
Oh yeah. Happy Saturday. Well, where we are, it's a little rainy, but that's kind of nice in its own
I think
way.
it's about to hit us.
How you
It's funny how
been?
that works. I'm doing all right. I'm ready for spring. I just got the motorcycle, all new everything, new tires, new chain, new sprockets, new air filter. Everything that can be replaced was replaced. So
Oh
I'm
wow.
excited for a new summer.
Oh, that's amazing.
That's basically all I need. I have simple needs.
Yep.
How
Oh,
about
I'm
you?
so glad you came today. I'm well. I'm well. I got super sick
Yeah,
yesterday.
these are really cool. Like it takes discipline to keep doing it, so it's cool to see you putting in that discipline.
Nice, thanks. Yeah, I figure if I just show up every week without any attachment to what actually ends up happening, it'll work out in the long run. So it's just you and me so far. My wife Nita is here, but she stepped away for a minute. Um, yeah, there's been some really cool new developments with all this AI. Holy moly.
It's funny, I'm kind of like tuning out. Like I was just having the thought this morning that like because of the vibe coding, I don't know what
Trend.
to call it. Yeah, the trend and then backlash, right? We're now at like the backlash where it's like, oh, vibe coding's bullshit, and like you know what I mean? Like it's like the
Right.
inevitable part of any fad, right? And it's crazy how quickly it happens. And my thought was just like, I should just keep doing what I was already doing before. You know what I mean? Like I was already doing whatever they're calling vibe coding, and I'm already
Yeah.
doing a better version of it after. Like I
Right.
shouldn't have spent any energy trying to convey it in that world.
You were vibe coding before vibe coding was a term. Like years
Yeah, ex
before.
yeah. I was coding. Hello, GC.
Hey, GC, what's up?
Hi.
Glad to see you're here, GC. GC has been a regular attendee, which is amazing.
It's my first time getting to hang out in real time.
So, yeah, I don't have any agenda. Just sort of go where the energy takes us. Um, I love the 3D stuff that the AI generates, like this cube of spheres. And, I created this thing yesterday just messing around. Oh, where did it go? Oh, Nita made this sick thing, which is the 3D brain structure, just by prompting. It's like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. But oh yeah, I got the new DeepSeek in here, and it's surprisingly good. This cheap DeepSeek Chat V3.
Is everything through Open Router now?
Yeah, everything's going through OpenRouter. And actually, I was thinking of adding another option like choose your own because there's so many models, and I could easily have a text box where you just enter the model right here. But I've just been curating the ones that seem to work well for code. But I wanted to show this crazy 3D one. I think I put it as unlisted for now. Yeah, this one. Check this out. This one has like this very a very deep structure to it. And I was just sort of blown away. This is the new DeepSeek model. It's a one-shot prompt, or a couple shots away from the 3D cubes. I was like, make a 3D fractal, and it did it. Look at that. I think it's just gorgeous. And it chose the color combination. Like, I didn't say anything about a color theme.
I think there's something special about the unit of work that you found, or that like VizHub is, or
Yeah.
that like blocks are, where like that's exactly the right. You're not writing a whole application. You don't have a whole bunch of context around, like, for me, like Nuxt is, dozens of files and thousands of lines of code that you need to kind of understand where to slot into. And think there's a lot of like seeing this is only possible because it wasn't worried about so many other things, is my like gut feeling, right?
Right. And it's a very small number of files too. That's another thing about ooh, my thing is glitching out here. Oh geez. What's going on? Yeah, so like it might be a good like we could go deep into how the AI actually works. Um, because the thing about InvisHub is it's all pretty small. It's only like a couple of files, and it's only maybe a couple hundred lines max. It's not. We're not talking about large code bases, you know, or even something like this. Like you can get really stunning visuals, but it's not that much code.
This goes extremely hard.
This one, yeah, I just told Claude to
Yeah,
like,
why is it so cool? Like, there's something special about it.
right, right. Yeah, I was just going through my old vises and I saw this one and I'm just having fun with the AI nowadays. I saw this and I'm like, this is beautiful without the labels. Let me just remove the labels. So I just I did this edit with AI thing and with Claude 3.7, I believe I said, remove the labels and make it psychedelic. This is the result.
Yeah, I know, I'm sure you know the bicycle for the mind metaphor. And I feel
Mm,
that a lot more with the AI lately, where it's like, all right, let's just go for a spin.
yep. That's right. And it's like shocking because I don't know. I've been, maybe it's not shocking for like young people getting into coding because this is the world they're growing up in, right? Where AI can write code for you. But it's shocking to me doing this shit for 20 years ish. It's like you used to have to work really, really hard to get something to work. And now you just have to envision the outcome and the AI will make it happen.
Here's the real question, Curran. Do you miss it?
I, right. Do I miss it? I kind of do. I mean, although I'm all wrapped up in this current state of the world where like I'm trying to get the most out of it. And with the VizHub thing, plus the fact that the AI implementation here rewrites the whole file, like I know there's some, actually you were into this, EJ, you had some ideas around a diff-based format for
I'm
the,
anti-diff. I don't think so. They did a bunch of experiments with that with Townie, the Valtown
yeah.
robot, and even in my own experiments, it really struggles. I mean, it's hard for a human. Imagine as a human trying to write a diff versus writing code. Like
Oh, I
this
know.
doesn't make a ton of sense.
Oh, I'm glad to hear you're anti-diff. I'm kind of anti-diff too. And I am pro small files.
I think it's architect. These are the problems that we have to solve are not like quick little fun problems. They're the same engineering problems that engineers have been trying to solve for 20 years.
Right.
You know what I mean? And like, it's cool that we have a new collaborator, but I think that you're right that like it requires this like this is just expertise from having coded a lot.
Right, exactly. And because, what I find myself doing is if I have a big file, I'll just tell the VizHub AI, the first prompt will be like, just just break up this file into a bunch of small modules as like the first step. And then after that, it's so much more malleable because then it can just rewrite only the files that needs to change. And this is
Well, you're
the
also like telling it where to look. I don't know if you're, yeah, walk me through how like the commands that your bot has and stuff. Because like, can it look up files? Can it like request specific lines, or like how does the mechanism work?
totally. Well, actually, before looking at this, we should look at this other library. I love this, where this is going. We're going to do like a deep dive into how the VizHub AI works. So this edit code with AI is a new package I made to split out just the AI editing piece, but it depends heavily on this one, this other smaller package, LLM code format. Um, I mean, why can't I find this? Oh, yeah. Actually, I should move this to the VizHub org. Now I see it in here. But anyway, it just, it formats files as Markdown in this particular format with bolding the file name and then putting a code fence around the code. And so what the VizHub AI does is it takes all the files in the Viz, all of them. It doesn't choose. And it encodes them in this way as part of the context for the prompt. And so that's what this serialize markdown files function does. And then if we see in here, this is just the top level prompt. So it's like, this is the full prompt. It's the task first, which is just what the user inputs. And then there's the files, which is all the files in the viz encoded using that LLM markdown format. And then there's the formatting instructions to tell the LLM how to respond. And so the prompt is just, your task.
Very
And then
simple.
this is, yeah, very simple.
Chain engine wheel.
Yeah, it's super simple. Like, I feel like all these code editing agents are getting a little overly complex. Like, this is really simple
Yeah.
and it works
I don't know
actually
how much you
really
use
well.
Cursor, but it's been interesting to watch the degradation of Cursor,
Right.
especially with 3.7, right? Where they tried to be really clever and their cleverness is preventing them from you. Like I use Claude Code a lot more now, the command line, and it just
Yeah.
works much better because they're using the context window better and not trying to be clever about it.
Right. And I felt like I've been using Aider a lot. I'm a big fan of Aider, and actually, this is what
We
inspired
should
me.
switch for a week. I've been hearing good things.
I mean, it's amazing, and I use it on large code bases. So with this, you have to curate the context really, like pay a lot of attention to which files go in because you can't just put all the files in if it's a large code base. But with VizHub, I'm like, well, originally I'm like, I want to port Claude to JavaScript. Sorry, I
See,
want to
not
port Aider to JavaScript. But
what's
then,
the median lines of code per viz?
oh, that's a really good question.
Because I bet it's under 1,500 or under 5,000, and like
Right,
even in your.
right. Yeah, I mean it's pretty low. But before we move on from here, I just want to say the key to making it all work is this formatting instructions. Suggest changes to the original files in this format. So this is where we tell the LLM the format, and it sees the format from all the other files too.
It's so good at this. This is what we did for Coach Artie, where like you teach it a little DSL, and as long as you remind it every time.
Right. And it's really simple. Like this is basically how you structure files. And it says here only include the files that need to be updated or created.
Like,
So this is what tells it, it actually creates new files pretty nicely. So that's why I can say refactor this into multiple files and it knows how to create files. And then there's also a way of deleting files. So it deletes files too. And that's what this library does, is it just parses the output and applies it and makes the edit to the set of files.
And this contains the eval as well, that same repo?
Yeah, the benchmarks thing is something I just started, and I'm not sure it should live inside this repo or if it should be somewhere else. But I think I want to improve the quality of the AI results. But I can't, like, it's hard to do like unit tests for this sort of thing. And I want to make it work really well for the weaker models too. Like not necessarily just the most expensive like Claude models, but like this should work with I don't know, Llama. And so
I want to start hand tuning it or hand grading it, right? Like it should do half a
yeah.
PR where each bot does a bar chart and then we decide if they pass or fail, right?
Yes. Oh my gosh. That's where my mind has been going as well. And so what I did here is just the first
And our collective knowledge is worth millions, by the way. So
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And I started on this with the Mr. Sloth prototype, which maybe you saw a little bit. Okay, so what I really want to do is do these visual challenges. And someone's
you got a
on.
little echo.
I got an echo going on. Han, is that you? Can,
Yeah.
hey, why don't you introduce yourself? This is Nita, special guest. So glad you could come today.
Hello, Anita.
Hello, everybody.
But EJ, what you were saying about grading, Han, could you mute yourself?
Yeah.
Because there is an echo coming. I don't know why. Probably we're in the same room. That's why. So let's say this one is the starting point. This is a bunch of small files. And what I want to do is give a challenge of like, okay, start with this and then make it a line chart of some other data. And we drop the data in here and then evaluate that across all the different models. And then feed that into like a manual grading system, like you were saying, EJ. I've been thinking a lot about doing this. And that would be the new benchmarks. And so then instead of
I'm down to dedicate like 2 hours a week to grading the robot. Like, I think that's part of the new
nice, amazing. And I set this up so that the benchmarks live in the repository and so do the outputs. And so we could set this up so that I could generate the results from the challenge as like HTML files that we could load up, I guess, all at once in a bunch of iframes and then have a little overlay like a thumbs up or a thumbs down, or maybe even grade it like A, B, C, like how did it do? You know?
Yeah, I wonder. Yeah, I mean, I guess both a binary and a qualitative grade would be good.
Right. And I figure if it fails, it fails. But if it
Yeah, if it
succeeds,
doesn't make a bar chart, yeah, and then you can have, yeah, that's a fail. Yeah, that makes a ton of sense.
and so the first challenges I did were like make a function to multiply two numbers, which is apparently way too easy because all the LLMs are able to do it except the weakest one. Or actually, it's surprising. Quen 2.5 failed, and Llama 8B failed.
How are you not going to visualize this, dog?
Right, we got to visualize this. Yes, yes. So let's do it, man. Let's plot the course.
Send the robot the CSV. Say, Mr. Robot, if you don't mind, we really want to know the pass fail.
Actually, yeah, this is something we can develop at a later time. Actually, let me do that right now. So in here, there's the benchmark results. results.csv. And let's try it live. If I fork this, make it unlisted for now. And then I'll take the data and put it in here. Oh, I'm realizing this won't work that. We may have to do some manual cleanup. And by the way, part of the VizHub AI edit with code, it truncates data files to just the first couple of lines so we don't blow out the context. And then we can do this import. Well, let me just do it with the AI. Visualize.
I was having a conversation with someone recently, and they're like, "Oh, what do you use the AI for?" And I was like, "Well, I pretty much give it a chance to do everything, at
Right,
least once."
right. And I'm telling it that the only way to get the data is to import from data.csv, which is it's just a limitation of the VizHub runtime environment, which is another thing I want to do more work on. But this should work. Let's see. Now that's a pretty challenging prompt because it has to figure out the whole visual encoding, right? But it always
Yeah,
surprises me.
it's not that complicated. It's probably like I'd say red green dots if I had to guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, probably puts them in a line based on what it has here.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the y-axis encodes pass fail would be a cool little touch. I don't know. We'll see. That'd be another fun game. You want to place bets on what it does?
Another thing I want to do is have it show the result as it's generating because it kind of sucks to just be staring at a spinner.
Yeah, somebody built an MCP for cursor that just makes it ding when it's done working.
Nice. MCP, that's another thing that's like pretty wild.
Yeah, it's just tools, bro. We've been doing this. They keep naming things we've been doing. I'm over it.
Right, just tool use. Yep.
Is it going to take whole day?
Right. I mean, that's why I want to see if it's. And sometimes,
You're not capturing, speed, dog. How come that's not in the benchmarks?
yeah. Oh, that's true. And there's a
Because there's probably
vast.
a big difference in speed.
Yeah. The Gemini 2.0 Flash is
Gemini's
insane.
fast. It's fast, but
Insane.
it's boring. It's like I imagine it's like a Mormon, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
highly but I wouldn't want to get a beer with them. I don't know if it's the
Right.
Mormons, but they know they're not good to get a beer with.
That's right. Maybe this failed. Or maybe it's still going. I find that with Claude 3.7 thinking, sometimes it
Yeah, it goes for a long
thinks
time.
for a little thinks a little too hard.
Isn't that true of all our good friends though?
Yeah. All right, let me that's still going. I made a new fork. Let me try actually the new DeepSeek is surprisingly good.
I talked to it a little bit, but I haven't like coded with it. It knows the I Ching way better, as you can imagine.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because its internal monologue is in Chinese, right?
Really? I didn't know that.
If you get it into its like base thinking mode, like you can ask a question in English and it'll think in Chinese and like do its whole thinking stage and then respond in English.
What? I didn't know that. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's like again, we're imagining the archetypes of like if Gemini is like the Mormon, then I imagine I don't know.
Right, right.
DeepSeek has definitely got some Asian flair to it.
It's like the Zen monk.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's literally just read more of the I Ching. You know what I mean?
Right. All right. Well, that didn't work.
Yeah, the robot failed us.
The robot
We
failed
gave it
us.
a shot.
And that's where like I find that there's a huge difference in the quality of results depending on the starting point. So what I did is that vanilla D3 vibe coding template. Let me try the React one. It seems to know React really well, like better.
Yeah, they loves React.
It
Have you
knows
even
React
seen how
better.
much Claude wants to write React? You ever be having a conversation with Claude and then it just starts writing React and you're like,
Okay, now this should be a lot smoother because it's already set up with data.csv. Let's try this. Um, and what I really want to do is like try it with multiple models at the same time and then evaluate the results from the different ones and then pick the one that's best. That's sort of
yeah.
on the roadmap.
Yeah, even the same model with different personas, right? You have your designer persona, your engineer persona, your minimalist persona, your maximalist persona, and then you're
Ooh,
like, I like maximalist today, or whatever.
yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah, little tweaks to the prompt could be pretty impactful. Okay, that did something.
Yeah,
We're
it's
getting
definitely interesting.
and then I you can iterate with different models. Like make it a grid and remove the um
Big dog, you heard of GitHub? The heat map thing?
oh yeah.
Can we get some of that?
Yeah, like the GitHub activity
Yeah, the contribution chart.
could work. Heat mappy. But actually you can sort of and see this is where I should just automatically feedback the errors.
I don't know, it gets dangerous too. Like a Claude will
Yeah,
get stuck in a loop in cursor. You have to like, I don't know, man. There's no magic bullet there.
right.
But I think you're right. I think you're on the right track with different models or like different because when I use cursor, when I'm waiting for it to do something, I'll just open another project, right? And like work on another project and then like bounce back
Yeah,
and forth. But I would much rather like look at 4 or 5 different options from 4 or 5 different models and pick a path forward.
right. Okay, it did something. I'm going to get a little more specific and say, please map challenge to the x-axis and map model to the y-axis and use color to indicate pass fail. And like, I don't know, maybe 3.7 definitely be able to do this. But yeah, there's all these different levels of the instructions that you want to be able to give. And that's I had some other ideas too of like what if VizHub had built in like a whole workflow where you upload the data set and then just looking at the data set, it tells you how you could visualize it, like different alternatives?
Yeah, I was gonna say that you need a couple different people or like you need, data analysis robot and then data cleaning robot and then data visualizer robot.
Yeah, that's right.
This
Okay,
is cool.
this is better. This is
Yeah, this is pretty sick.
this is pretty good. It's got these interactions too, hovers.
We don't get to see what challenge it is though. That's all right.
There's some weird text rotation. We're not seeing the challenge in the right place. Oh, I should be using this the speech to text feature that just got added. So actually, we could do a little showcase. Okay, there it is. There it is. It's there.
Nice.
But I want that on the bottom. So check this out. Please. Oh, there we go. Uh, please move the labels from the top to the bottom. Come on. Please move the axis labels from the top to the bottom. Come on. It's not working. I swear it worked.
This is good. You can. It's a whole new level of being able to express your frustration.
Like whenever I talk to Alexa, sometimes I scream at her. Like, stupid robot. Please move the. All right, it's not working. Hello? Testing 1, 2. I swear it was working the other day. Maybe it's like a sound settings. Oh, wait a minute. Ha. I'm not plugged into the right computer. So for today's stream, this is actually on a separate machine. That's why the background color's off too. But I'm decoupling the Viz computer from the streaming computer for the first time. So working out the glitches there. I'll just have to type it. Let's see.
Oh no, you'll just have to ask the robot via typing.
Like a caveman.
Yeah, yeah, for real.
I swear, in the future, it's just going to be all voice.
I don't know. That's not how I'm way. It's too low bandwidth.
Yeah. And this is the kind of thing where some of the smaller models should be able to do it. Like, let's see if Gemini can do this and how fast it comes back. Boom. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that did it. That's pretty fast. Cool. So yeah, this is when these benchmarks were run when Claude was having an outage. So you can see that this is an error. It was just because there was an outage that day. But hey, that's pretty clear. Pretty clear data viz from like a couple of minutes of work.
Yeah, and you didn't write any code.
I
I
didn't
mean, you
write any code.
downloaded the CSV for it, but other than that,
That's right. I just pasted the CSV in here and prompted my way to success. And then you can see all the different revisions here.
That's cool, but can you share it public?
Oh yeah, I'll make this public. Um, Initial benchmark results. And then I actually love. Oh, it did update the README. See that? I find that you can use it to update the README too, and you could even work on like total like non-code stuff because it'll write whatever you tell it to in the README. But anyway, let's do a showcase. So Nita is here. Maybe you could show some of your work. I'll pull it up because you've been doing some amazing
Oh,
stuff.
yes, I would love to do that.
So I'll pull up your profile and you tell me what to look at.
Yeah, this one is really cool. What I wanted to see, like, where is like the part of the brain that works with emotions,
Hmm.
and how far it is from like action, the part of the brain that does action and part of the brain that does emotion, controls emotions. So how far they are. So that's what my whole idea. So I said like create a brain structure that will show different parts of the brain and function. So when we hover and click on it, in the beginning, the first
Wow.
version it made, it said it's doing rotating zoom, but it wasn't doing it. So I had to tell it again to be able to zoom and rotate. So when you go on the thalamus
Uh,
part of the brain,
this one acts as a relay station.
regulates consciousness, sleep, and sends signals. And which one? This one is for the action, I think. And for emotions, amygdala, I think. So something like
Yeah,
that.
there it is.
So it was really cool to see what I had a question and that I could create it in VizHub like that,
Yeah,
That's
this
so
is
cool.
extremely cool. It's
isn't it?
it's I love how accessible it is. You know what I mean? Like it's really easy to approach and understand, I feel like.
Yeah, so in the past, I read the whole article about different parts of the brain and how they function and emotions and all that. But it's just a text, it's hard to understand. But if we have 3D explaining us everything, this is it, like within 5 minutes. And I think I did it like midnight or something. I just had a thought.
Yeah.
I got up for water or something, and I'm like, oh, I really want to make this one. And I just went to Visa on mobile, like, can you make a brain structure for me?
Yeah. So that's another cool thing is you did this from your phone.
Yes.
That's amazing. And it did nice labels. And I think I saw a 2D version. Did you do a 2D version first?
Yes, I did the 2D one. You are right.
And so, yeah, forked from brain structure.
No, I used two different templates, the one 3D one, and then I'm like, let's see how it does in not 3D one template, like a plain
Yeah.
HTML.
So this we can see clearly. It's just one shot away from this cube of spheres, which is
I
incredible to
wish we
me.
could see your prompt, right? Like I'm so curious like how
Yeah.
you got it to get to this because it's really cool. Like I'm curious like how long it was. Like was it like a bunch of paragraphs or was it like a couple
No.
sentences or like
So EJ, I don't do that. I don't know how to prompt it like the way experts do. Like Karan does very good prompting. So mine is just 2 3 lines, but I keep asking it again and again. Like I don't like this. You change this one. This is not working like that.
interesting. So this is from like a couple iterations of you correcting it.
Yes. My first prompt was just make a brain structure, one line.
So all the data is there to make that happen, to see the prompt, and I think it's a very good idea.
And I didn't even look into the code how it looks.
Well, that's the crazy thing nowadays is you don't need to. It did one
It's
long.
interesting. I've also been finding, so what you just said, where you don't have to look at the code, like I've been finding 3.7 especially will often fake data or fake, like you'll ask it to visualize
Yeah.
something and it'll
Yes.
make you a really close looking chart that if you
Yes.
didn't look at the code, you would be convinced was correct.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
And back to our pass fail idea, like you and I might even be tempted to pass or fail it unless we look really carefully. You know what I mean?
Yep.
They try to get away with stuff, and I don't know how to catch that other than looking through the code, or I don't know, there's like an automated skeptical robot that comes in after that like pours through everything.
I feel like this is where some of the vibe coding haters come in to be like, you vibe code it and you think it's right, but it's not right because you didn't check it. It's like there's a lot of that, but like feel like it's kind of an immature perspective. Like you gotta, I view the AI as a collaborator, and with any collaborator, it's good to review their work. You don't just take it,
Yeah, exactly.
and you have to be capable of reviewing their work too. I think a lot of these vibe coding things, it's like people who don't know anything about coding, and then they create buggy software, and then they're surprised that it's buggy. But anyway, Neetha's been doing some other amazing stuff. Oh, here's the 2D version of the brain structure.
Yes, it is there.
That's pretty nice too. Wow.
I just can't stop using VizHub.
That's what I like to hear. And then some of the other stuff, like, oh my gosh.
And look at this galaxy one that I created. It's so cool.
Oh yeah, this one, the Galaxy Visualizer view. This is incredible. Yeah.
And the hovering
This is
works.
it's wild. It feels like 3.7. Like it's give it like it has
It's
the
giving
3.7 energy.
3.7, doesn't it?
Yeah.
They totally have their own personality. I find that whenever you ask 3.7 to do space theme, it always picks this font, the same font, so you can tell.
It also has a very like the visual aesthetic is really cool and like intentional, it feels like. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, totally. But,
No, not this one. There is other one
oh,
where you can see the rotating Earth around the sun. That's
oh
the one.
wow.
So what I had in mind, like checking magnetic field around Earth to show to the kids in in Karina's class because I was teaching electrical class there. So created this, and then
This
I'm
one.
like, this doesn't make sense until there is a sun around it.
Oh,
This is really cool. So are you forking from just that basic 3D example, or do you like get a
This
space one
one,
that's close?
this is
Or
one
just
this
from
shot.
just from the
This
from
is
hello?
one
one
shot
shot.
away from Hello HTML.
In the beginning, I couldn't find Hello HTML template. He kept it like somewhere at the bottom of CreateWiz page. So it will take a long time to find Hello HTML template and then ask it. Now it's on the top.
So it did all this stuff about figuring out
Most.
how to pull in 3JS. I'm curious how it did it. So it used type module and then imported straight out of Skypack. And that's all Claude.
And I didn't even check the code.
But you have,
The other one is with the sun.
so it's a,
Go down. One of these. Yeah,
maybe this one.
yeah, that one. Yes, with audio. Yeah, but the audio is not working.
Wow.
I think it's the other one. Oh, this is the next. Yeah, one version
Crazy
before
that
it.
these are one shots. These are insane.
Isn't it? Yeah, this is truly next level.
Look at the sun it tried to create.
Yeah, what is that? Solar
Yeah, what
flares?
is
It didn't work. Oh, though that's the solar flare.
Solar flares, I guess. And then you can zoom to
huh,
different planets.
the lighting is cool too. So well,
Yeah.
what's the little scatter plot or that little dot
Yeah, what is that?
grid? Huh,
I don't know what that grid is.
interpretive.
And there is the one version, go previous version of that.
This one. It's
Yeah, this
beautiful.
is the one. There are not many stars here.
You can see them. But like it's just
So this is
so
for like
incredible.
or Karina to show her like how Earth rotates around the sun with the magnetic field around it, and we can't see the magnetic field.
This is truly next level stuff. And actually, the whole inspiration for this was some kind of school event, right? Where they were talking about magnets and then
Yeah, yeah, electricity, magnets.
Karina, you want to show your thing? Come on. So under Nita's account, my 7-year-old daughter also did some prompting of her own. And wow, there's a lot of stuff in here. We
Doing
got it.
intergenerational vibe coding.
Yeah. So this is Karina's, the Sunshine Elementary.
Whoa,
So good, right?
it's so detailed.
Oh, it's so cool.
The Arey, there was bus, and the look at the
Oh, there it
uh,
is.
s- bus is there, but the swing is in the air.
It got pretty close. It kind of it. This has almost like South Park energy. You know?
It reminds me of I went to computer camp and I forget what software it was, but it was like a video game software that looked very much like this.
I could just hear the theme song playing. But anyway, she also created this piano, rainbow piano app that actually plays sound. Oh, I gotta get the sound wired up through the two
I'll use
computers.
my imagination.
But it actually works, and you can control it with the keyboard too. So it's actually a playable.
Whoa.
It's a playable piano. I bet I could get the sound to work to a certain extent.
So are you guys starting to learn like which ideas are ripe for turning into a VizHub or like when like these are all I really love the experience of sitting in the real world and having a conversation with real people, and then you pull out your phone and you have your idea, and then you like show them the magnetic field, and then you put your phone down and like keep existing in the real world. So it's
Mm,
interesting to me, like when you choose to put something in a VizHub now that you like know what it's capable of.
right. Hon, you muted.
Yeah, we need to create a new app, AI visualizer, which can be accessed on the mobile, and you can create anything.
Totally. Totally, totally.
What Karan is
It's almost you
speaking.
want to like request a piano, and then you want to have all the models make their pianos, and you want to come back and be like, I like this one.
Yeah. And did a Sudoku game out of nowhere, like playable.
See, each one of these I see, I want to know, I want to know which model, I want to know how many iterations it was, like how long the prompt
Right.
was.
Yeah, totally.
And I think it's also building your own corpus of starting points, which you've already
Yeah.
done, a decade of work on, right? But that whether you're a human or a robot, that groundwork, if you just have a good starting point, and I guess we found it doesn't even need a great starting point, but once you do have a good starting point, you can get way further, right?
Yeah. And maybe time. Because, like, it is collecting metadata and storing it, it's just not surfacing it. But actually, if you're using VizHub yourself, there's this usage table that I did add here that shows you the prompt, the model, and the cost. And see, this 25 cent one was the Sonnet Thinking. I wonder if that ever finished. It was one of
Do you have
these.
a webhook where I can ask the robot for a VizHub and then get a URL back?
Now that is a good idea. That is a
Hey,
good
thanks,
idea.
man. You keep saying that, and I appreciate that. No one else says that.
Well, whenever I see all this stuff on MCP nowadays, I'm thinking I should build a VizHub API MPC.
Yes, it would take you an hour and get, I mean, a little bit of benefit. But yeah, to request one, to have my cursor go out and make a VizHub would be super cool. But you don't need to do like, yeah, you just have an MCP that sends the webhook for you essentially. And you would use your markup format, right? You would teach the robot to send it in your like multi-file format. So you wouldn't even want to. You just send it a human readable prompt. But then I can do it from my phone or Coach Artie, right? I can just like, hey, can I get one of this? And then he sends me a URL back.
Right.
Oh, did you see the MCP science that I did? I forget where I dropped that.
Um, I don't think I did.
It was in I think it was in, yeah, it was in the 302 one. I'll drop it in this. But basically, um, there's a website called Smithery, which is like a directory for MCPs. You know what I mean? Like you
Ah,
can get it collects them, and I was like, ooh, a collection. So I downloaded all of them and got embeddings on their titles, and then made a map of all of the MCPs just to get a sense of like what was covered and what wasn't. But I just had Claude 3. I was like, approach it like an academic. Like we're doing science. Yeah, I mean, do like a
nice.
scientific analysis of the world of MCPs and then turn it into a little website. But I'd love to do something similar for our evals. Your screen might be frozen.
Oh, you know what it is? I have to work out my setup here. So I don't have Discord set up on this machine. I have to do a little. Still working out the kinks with the new setup. But yeah, this should be here. I already have an account. Oh, Discord mobile app. Well, I think I'll work it out for next time. But for the time being, I can't click through Discord links. Yeah, I'll do that offline. But I would love to show it. Smithery
Yeah, no, it's all good.
MCP. Cool, cool. Well, anyway, we're at time. I guess that's this week's office hours. Although I could totally stay more and just hang out. Um,
Yeah, I'm showing.
so yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on, and oh, there's one thing that I've been actively working on, which is this VizHub runtime, splitting it to a separate package, and also making sure that this supports ES modules. Because right now, that's the biggest limitation of the VizHub AI stuff, is that if you take one of those Three.js examples and try to split the main JS into multiple files, it will not work. and this will allow you to build the Viz files into a standalone HTML, and then this could be used in other projects as well. Like this, I would want to bring into the visual benchmarks. So I think here's what I'll do. I'm going to probably split the benchmarks piece of this to a separate
I was
repo.
gonna ask, like, if we can set up edit with AI or the benchmarks in a way where I can jump in more easily, that would be helpful.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. So I think the thing to do is probably split the benchmarks piece into a separate repo, have it depend on this edit with AI repo, have it also depend on the VizHub runtime repo, and then in the benchmarks area, we build out the challenges and the grading system. I think that's,
Wrap it all in a Docker image I can run anywhere.
yeah.
It'd be handy. You could run it on the VPS.
Ah, yeah. Well, this edit code with AI thing is just it's a node package. Like you can call it as a function as it
Yeah, I could
is.
npx it, huh? Does it have like a command line utility to it? Yeah.
No, but that's not a bad idea.
Like I could npx and pass it a test and then get back the results from all the models.
Hmm. I love that. And I'm realizing here you should probably have like a. I mean, yes, that's all possible just to compose what's there in a new way to do that. Yeah, let's do it. All right, I think I'll call it for today. But
It was a pleasure.
so
Thanks for
glad you
having
dropped
these.
in.
Yeah, dude.
How you doing,
Let's
GC? Any
do
questions
it
or?
again soon.
No, thanks.
All right. Thanks
Goodbye.
for joining. Take care, everyone. Bye.